Drodzy winopijcy, jesteśmy w Austrii, na wzgórzu Heiligenstein, legendarnym austriackim wzgórzu, gdzie robi się najlepsze rieslingi, razem z Alvinem JURTSCHITSCH'em.
Koniecznie oglądajcie do końca.
We are at Alvin JURTSCHITS' vineyard in Heiligenstein. Heiligenstein, the most important, I would say,
the most
site.
Unique site we have here.
Significance, as Michi Musbrugger would say.
Yeah.
The most significant site in
We're kind of in
Austria.
the bottom of the mountain, I think, right?
We are in the middle of this
one
hillside.
third, yeah, on the hill. We just actually went all the way up and then we came down. This place is absolutely incredible because we're in a vineyard, but it doesn't really look like a vineyard. There's just so much biodiversity. There's so many other plants and bushes and trees, and there's bees over there. It's like everything is here.
Yeah. If you ever saw the pictures of, for example, the vineyards of Carlo Rossi, this is totally different, okay? You know, the US vineyards, like hundreds of hectares and only vineyards, like ranges of... This is different, okay?
No,
you have peaches here, quinces,
different kind of trees, but it's a concept of biodiversity. Also,
finally we let him talk. Yeah.
No, I mean the main focus is that we get healthy grapes which are grown without too much stress here. But it's always also a matter of what's the surrounding. When it comes to terroir, I think the more diverse the ecosystem is. And I'm sure that trees, bushes, herbs, they are also influence our quality, our inner quality of the grapes.
You believe that the quality of the grapes of the vineyard is actually better improved by the biodiversity as well, right?
Especially because the more diversity you have, the more stable your ecosystem is. And if it's just monoculture, you see it in trees, in forests. If there is just one type of plant, it's easier that it can be attacked by any fungi or any disease. And it's the same idea here, that we get diversity and flower and colorful vineyards, but also a diversity on different root systems. I believe in this concept of permaculture, that it's about symbiosis, that gives you double the strength.
But it's not a biodynamic.
We are not certified biodynamic. We're not certified biodynamic. We don't use two preparations of biodynamic. We do our own compost tea preparation. This is something we do since years. This is something I have the feeling it really, the vineyards, especially in stressful times, it's really like having a cup of tea and getting relaxed again and can handle heat or dryness quite well. And there are many smart things Rudolf Steiner was saying. He's a kind of a freak for me. Some parts are really super interesting. Those are the things I want to take and I want to adapt. But the most important what Steiner was saying and I was feeling was that he was saying that you're the farmers, you're the scientists, go out and search.
So when you go just to the online shop and you buy a herbicide, it's not being a farmer and go and look and research, yeah?
No, this is really stupid. This is just stupid. Okay, breakfast started.
Yes,
okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I want
Without the bubbles, it's not breakfast for Isa.
We are eating because we are invited for breakfast here. So
that's true.
Yeah. Don't write in the comments, Isa is eating in front of the camera.
Isa is drinking sparkling for breakfast.
The truth is, she always eats in front of the camera. We just don't film it, or we cut it out. We cut it out.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Okay, slowly.
No, because it was under the sun for like 1 hour, so.
So cool.
So what is this? What are we having?
This is Kamptal in bubbles, and this is a sparkling made out of 100% Grüner Veltliner from a high altitude vineyard.
You said before something extremely nice, that the symbol of quality for the soil is the pieces, the traces.
How do you say the shit?
The shit of
worm.
Animal and worm shit, well, yes. Yeah, exactly.
I love that. The more shit you see in the vineyard, the more natural the vineyard is, yes?
Depends on which shit we're talking about. But the earthworm, I don't know in English, earthworm.
The earthworm,
it's the only animal
Dżdżownica?
Dżdżownica, yes.
Dżdżownica in Polish.
Yeah. And it's the only animal that really can eat stuff and build tone humus complexes. This is like the gold for the soil. Yes, and I think the quality of soil, this is something. It's often hard to measure, but it's something you can smell if you dig in the soil, and you can, if you work with green cover in the vineyards, you can bring shadow to the soil to stop too much evaporation.
What is the green cover? Let's explain.
When it comes to green cover, those are plants we use to break up the monoculture, to bring different plants into our vineyards. In the middle of the rows, and all of those plants have some specific ideas behind, like the clover, which is the most common. It's not only have a beautiful flowers to attract bees and to get colors in your vineyard. Clovers just take the CO2 from the air, bring it to the soil, stabilize it, and give it free for the other plants, or for the wines especially. And those are things we can, if it's a very dry and hot year, we can use the green cover, we let it grow, we just push it down so the water stays in the soil. Now it was quite a wet period, so we kept the green cover quite narrow and close now, so the water can evaporate, because now I would be afraid of botrytis. Open soil, it's something which is just against nature. As soon as you dig a hole, nature will close it as soon as possible. It's like a wound you have. And we don't want to get our soil destroyed by the UV or by the sunlight, because microorganisms, they're gonna die immediately.
That is amazing. He's like the professor of nature.
Yes, exactly.
This is maybe a special place, because I could collect old parcels, which are still in the old tiny terraced shape. And the thing is here that in these vineyards there was never a tractor, never heavy machines. And this is something I thought, okay, if I don't get this and keep it like it is, it will be disappearing in some years.
And you just told us you had like a parcel that's like, you don't know what's there, but there's old terraces, and you found some vines as well?
When I was hiking behind the hillsides here, we found in the middle of the forest tiny little vines. And I thought, wow, this is, and there used to be vineyards maybe 100 years ago. And this is something we don't know which plants this is. And I went there with a friend of mine who is a geologist. And now we were cutting trees away so those little plants get some sunshine. I brought a backpack full of compost up there, and we shoveled and gave them some food. And this is
an animal.
No, it's really
like a little pet, like a little pet vine, you know.
It's really a little pet vine. Some of them, they were even growing up the trees,
like in the
and
past,
in some very dry years they die again, and they are. And because nobody cares about them, and this is where I see wine needs some culture. They need some love. If you just leave it alone, they will disappear sometimes. The forest will take over.
You want to make wine out of that as well.
First, I want to give them a certain strength to grow again, and then I need to analyze what it is, because it's different plants. This is what you can see already now, and then we will see.
Thanks again for breakfast. Amazing.
Okay. Cheers. Yeah.
This is two styles of Jurtschitz. The same vineyard, same wine, same...
Not same wine.
Same vineyard, different parcel.
Okay. Vintage?
Vintage, this is 2020. This is fresh released classic Heiligenstein Riesling.
And also the labels are different. But today all the wines are made by you or by your father?
By my wife.
I love this word. This is how it works. This is how the world works.
The wife is always the boss.
Stephanie, she's my boss. Starting as a trainee here, now she's my wife and my personal cellar master.
I think this is a toast to all the wife bosses out there.
Yes.
We all know them.
Cheers.
We all have them. Cheers to you.
I had this condition that I only gonna join you here, my family in Langelois, when they go and change to organic viticulture.
Because it was not organic.
It was not organic before. This was what we changed now 12, 13 years ago.
Only? Okay.
No, this was, I'm young still. I just came back in.
Of course you are, come on, we
He
know.
just looks older than us. You know?
No, but I was really lucky that even the generation before, my parents never used herbicides and never used chemical fertilizer.
Okay.
For me it was, I could take over quite good soil, and now I had the chance to go way beyond the organic certification and stuff. And 2 years later, we walked into the cellar and started there to change a bit in the beginning. I wanted to go back to more the maybe even traditional winemaking of my grandfather's time. Coming back in 2007, I came back to Austria, and I found myself in a quite modern wine world. When my winemaking friends from Australia asked me what the hell is going on in Austria, we expected to have this as cool climate, as elegant Riesling and Grüner. Why the hell the highest rated wines need to have 14.5 alcohol or new French oak? And this was completely d'accord with me. And then we started step by step to find this new tradition. What makes Kamptal really unique? This time when I had the feeling everything around me became bigger, louder, faster. How can we make wines with a certain understatement? How can we step back to listen down, to the fine, silent voice of terroir? Stephanie and me, it was always this goal: what can we get rid of and still make great wines? We don't want to maximize or aromatize our wines. That means ripe but not overripe. We want to have a Grüner Veltliner with herbal green notes and not a yellow Veltliner with just goldish stuff. What can we get rid of? Like zero botrytis tolerance, no aromatic yeast and shit like that.
So only wild yeast?
Wild yeast, which lives here in the cellar, which comes from the vineyard.
Okay.
So it's a combination of both. I don't want to have any new oak flavors in my wines. We even stopped completely batonnage. We don't want to make our wines. I don't want to polish away these edges and spikes of character, of minerality. We are working on a redefinition of the traditional Kamptal style. This is like a new interpretation of Mozart on the piano. On the other side, Stephanie and I, after we were traveling and working in so many parts of the world, we are exploring. And so next to our classic style, we have our free jazz section in the cellar. And suddenly we found ourselves in the middle of the natural wine world in this traditional region like Kamptal.
Yeah.
And the winemakers now working on natural wine in the Kamptal, it's a bunch, and this is basically the first generation. Nobody did this in the past. I think if my father would have fermented Grüner on the skins, my grandfather would have kicked him out and said, no, this is not tradition. But we are living in a wine world where so much is possible, but on the other side, we also want to focus and find a natural style for this region. And
but on the consumer side, I think it's important as well. I mean, people want to move forward. They want, you know, like we just had coffee this morning. Like people are used to having their espresso, but then there's a whole big new space for the new techniques of actually making coffee, right?
And some of those new techniques are based on old traditions.
Yeah,
and rediscovering. Yeah.
Exactly, and you know, it could be the same coffee. It's just done in a slightly different way. It's a new interpretation, like you say. But it's the jazzy. I have this with coffee at home. I make coffee in a different way. My father can't stand it. He doesn't want the coffee, you know. And he wants that espresso, the Italian style espresso, right? So it's interesting because I think it's also great that you're catering to this new wine drinker, right? That is not necessarily looking for this very traditional type of interpretation, but they really want that jazzy, new, different approach to wine as well.
Even my father, I never forced him to understand, but even now, and he's 79 or so, he understands and likes good natural wines.
And he likes your wines?
Yes, in the meantime.
Which is great.
We have the Mozart, yeah?
Yes.
And we have the
And now this is more the funk jazz section. This wine started out of an experiment, and to get to know a new parcel or a vineyard, a certain vineyard, we just let the wine do in the cellar, and we just watch and smell and taste which circles the wine is doing in a year. And with Quelle, this was our first Riesling that stayed 2 years on the lees in a small barrel. Normally the classic style is maximum 1 year or so.
But still without bétonnage.
Without bétonnage,
So both without bétonnage, both with wild yeasts.
Yes.
But longer contact.
Way longer. So this is unfiltered. We just let it sediment. This wine got even this extra dose of time. So it's quite clear, but it's not filtered.
Yeah.
A lot of differences in the winemaking.
In the taste and the nose as well.
But also in the taste. This is already a super juice. It's like on the classic style is maybe more the straight guy and more on the mineralic, vibrant side. And this is like Riesling juice, more yellowish and very friendly right now.
Absolutely friendly. So drinkable.
This is my style.
This is my style as well.
But the first nose for me was like very honestly, it was kind of like I was smelling a garden. It was like a bunch of like herbs or something, you know. It was.
It's multi-complex. You have peachiness a lot, yellow and goldish more.
Autumn garden with peaches, pears, apples. I think we saw actually almost today. This is like a guy in a tuxedo. He's elegant, but a little bit not approachable for now.
It's quite young already.
Yeah, it's
still
extremely young, and this is like a cool guy with a hat, you know.
So because this is like the different interpretation. It's like this is the Munich Philharmonic that we actually saw yesterday, and then this is more like the four celloists or whatever they're called. That like they play this very new style of.
It's a nice comparing
or
with
like
music
Jimek in Poland, who does like these interpretations of you know,
but for you, which one is the
music.
real Heiligenstein?
I knew this question will come. This is a bad question.
I had to ask that.
No, so there's two of these. Which one do you choose? You know, here you go.
I was waiting for that question since the beginning. We are here, so that's why I'm so.
I know that. I know it's.
I have a very.
The answer is obvious. The answer is obvious.
I have a very diplomatic answer because I always get the same question.
Before you answer, also I wanted just to say here. There is the name of Heiligenstein on the label, and here, no. And this is also important. So this is not Heiligenstein officially.
It's not
even
officially.
If it is.
We are not allowed to put even the region of Kamtel on it. We have a very strict Austrian wine law, and so it's very much.
Who cares if it's got it or not? You know.
It's very much.
Who cares if it's on the bottle?
I mean, somebody who buys it in the shop.
Of course, but I'm like in terms of between us.
Between us,
Okay.
What is your answer? So official answer.
No, for me as a person, maybe I need always at least 2 projects I'm working on, and I could not only do one or this.
You should be politician, you know?
But for me, the biggest or highest level I want to achieve when I'm an old man, maybe, I really want to bring those both words together.
So you said that we could degorge some wine with you?
If you want to get dirty?
We want to get dirty.
We want to get dirty. You want to see us get dirty as well.
We like to see us get dirty, we know that. Okay. You are making also sparkling wines?
Yes.
Okay, so, and I believe that some of the sparkling wines you will degorge soon.
Yes, you hold some Grüne Veltliner, Grand Reserve 2017 in your hands. This we will degorge after the harvest to be ready in Christmas time. And we can have a little trial. We'll keep it like this, otherwise it's gonna be a mess.
Okay. I never did that, okay? So this is the dégorgement we called à la volée.
Oui.
With that?
Yes, and I show you how this is working, and then you are the one who is getting dirty. Here is still the list.
The list is not ready. The list is not in the... This is a good... Look at the difference, And this is ready. The yeast are in the good position. Okay, so how do you do it?
And...
Woo!
You ready?
Oh my God! But you make it like this, yeah?
Yeah, and then you go down with the bubble, you go up, yeah? And when it's there...
I'm afraid.
Then you need to pull the trigger. Hey!
It's not that bad.
Not that bad! Well, it's okay. I can do it every day. I didn't lose so much. A little bit more than you, okay?
Perfect.
Okay.
But now we need to taste.
Yes! So, thank you, Alvin, for this fantastic explanation about the more natural approach to the wine growing and wine production, we can say. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Słuchajcie, dajcie nam lajki, napiszcie, co sądzicie o tego typu winach, czy kiedykolwiek ich próbowaliście. Napiszcie, czy dobrze mi wyszło degorżowanie. Tomek jest za kamerą, więc dlatego go nie widać, ale pozdrawiam Was bardzo serdecznie. Pamiętajcie, pijcie odpowiedzialnie, pamiętajcie, żeby dać nam kciuka w górę, subskrybować i pamiętajcie o naszym Patronajcie, bo bardzo potrzebujemy tego, żebyście nas wspierali na Patronajcie. Ok, cheers!
Chin chin, cheers!